Hi there, my name is Liu Kazan and today I'm gonna show you how to play and practice fingerstyle scales, okay? This is a great way for you to start practicing some fingerstyle exercises. If you wanna know how to play this technique and play a lot of songs and everything, you can work on fingerstyle scales for you to know how to work with your right hand and your left hand and start practicing your first exercise. You see that this concept is very easy for you to study, and it's gonna help you understand how fingerstyle works, how it works to play melody and chords at the same time, how you have to use your right hand and your left hand in order to play things at the same time, okay? And this lesson has a free material for you to download, okay? You can check here on the link here in the description below the video. There's a link, you can click the link and you can download the material for free and for you to practice for a few days, and you can check out my other free fingerstyle lessons as well, okay? I call this exercise fingerstyle scales because this is a great way for you to practice scales in a fingerstyle way, okay? So in fingerstyle we're always playing melody and chords at the same time. So the best way to practice scales is to play a scale, like let's say the G major scale, and play together with some chords of the G major key. Okay, we have a lot of different chords that goes into the G major key, and we can play the scale mixing those chords and the scale. Okay, I'm gonna show you how to play note by note. Okay, and first the G major scale that we're gonna use is very simple. It's gonna sound like this. Okay, but we're gonna play this G major scale together with the chords, with some chords. Okay, so let's choose first the G major chord. Okay, so I'm gonna play the G major scale with the G major chord. But before you play all the notes of the chord, all the different notes that goes into the G major chord, first we need to practice how to play the scale with the bass of the chord. Okay, so the G major chord, it's right here. The bass of this chord is right here. I'm gonna play the bass with my thumb, okay? And so every time I need to play the bass, I'm gonna use my thumb. And I'm gonna play the G major scale. Every time I play a note on the scale, I'm gonna play the bass, this bass note, okay? It's gonna sound like this. Okay, so let's break it out for you to understand what I'm doing here. Right here in the left hand, I'm using my third finger here to play the third fret on the low E string, so I can play the bass of the G major chord, okay? And I'm using my other fingers here to play the G major notes of the G major scale, okay? So it's a little bit different than only playing the G major scale alone, let's say. Okay, so I'm playing like this. A lot in fingerstyle, okay? And in my right hand, it's very important, this idea right here. I'm always playing my bass note with my thumb, okay? Always playing like that. And my melody notes, that it's the notes of my scale, I'm always playing with my ring finger, okay? It doesn't matter if it's on the third string, the second string, or the first string. The melody is on one of those three strings, okay? I'm always using the ring finger, okay? So it's gonna sound like this. Okay? And why do you have to play like that? Because in fingerstyle we have a very important rule that we need to follow, that you cannot play anything higher than the melody note, okay? So if my melody note is on the third string and I use my ring finger, I cannot play my second and neither my first string, okay? And that's a great way for you to follow the rule, because if you use your index finger here to play like this, then when you're gonna add some chord notes to this, it's gonna be a little bit confusing for you to understand which notes you can play or you cannot play in the chords, okay? So the best way for you to practice fingerstyle right now, the scales and everything, when you're gonna play a song, a fingerstyle song, is always to play the melody note with your ring finger, okay? For now, just for you to get started on that, okay? So again, I'm gonna play like this. That's the final result here. Now that you can play the bass of the G major chord and the melody note, we're gonna add some chord notes, some chord notes of the G major chord. Okay, so when I play when my melody is on the third string here, and the first note here, I'll have to play the G major chord, and I'll play like this, exactly what is on the tablature. Okay, so I'm gonna play like this, and And then the second note is on the second fret on the third string. It's gonna sound like this. Then I'm gonna play the second open string, and then it sounds like this. Okay, so I'm playing my ring finger on the second string, middle finger on the third string, and index finger on the fourth string. Okay, it sounds like this. And then here, and then the third fret. Okay, and then my melody is on the first string. So I'm adding the second and third strings as chord notes. Okay, it's gonna sound like this, and then like this, and then like this. Okay. You have to practice this a few days. Okay, you're not gonna get it right from the start, like in playing only 5 minutes, and you're playing like this. You have to practice it because there's some little different movements that you probably you're not used to do that. Okay, to do them, but you can get it. Okay, so that's the G major scale with the G major chord. But I have some other chords on the G major key, like A minor and B minor and C major, D major and E minor, and it's very useful for you to practice all of these chords with the G major scale. So I'm gonna show you note by note, okay, but you have to practice. Keep in mind that you need to practice it for a few days for you to master this idea, okay? So if I play the A minor chord with the G major scale, it's gonna sound like this. I'm using all the A minor chord notes, okay? So I'm playing the bass here on the 5th string, and my melody is on the 3rd string, so it's gonna sound like this, okay? I have only one note here that is the chord note I can add, okay? Then I'll play the 2nd string, then I'll play the 2nd string here on the open string, like this, and then 1st fret, 3rd fret, okay? Now I'm playing the 1st string, so the melody is on the 1st string, 1st open string. I can play the 2nd and 3rd string on the A minor chord, okay? Then 2nd string, and then 2nd fret and 3rd fret. Okay, so it's gonna sound like this. Some positions are exactly the same as the A minor chord, like this, for example, but other positions are very different, like this, then it's the same, then it's different. Okay, but then I can practice with the B minor chord, okay? It's not very common, it's in the key of G major, but it's not very common. And I'm gonna use a very different position for the B minor chord, okay? So this position works very well in fingerstyle, okay? And it's gonna sound like this. I'm playing the bass on the 5th string here, and then like this, and then the 2nd string, exactly what is written on the tablature right here. Second string here, 1st fret, 3rd fret, 1st open string, 2nd string, and the 2nd fret and 3rd fret. Okay, notice that I need to move my fingers and fret it in different ways, okay, for me to play the G major together with the chord notes, the G major scale together with the chord notes. So if I come back, it's like this. Okay, I'm playing it very fast. You can stop the video, see and repeat it, and practice and see on the tablature. Okay, you have to practice for a few days. Okay, I'm gonna play the C major chord. It's very common in the G major key. Okay, so notice that I'm using. Okay, then I can use the D major chord. Okay, in the D major chord, notice this. My bass is on the 4th string, okay, so I cannot play this, neither the low E, neither the A string here, okay, so I'm playing like this, and my melody is on the 3rd string, so I can play only the 4th and 3rd string. Here, then 2nd fret, then 2nd string, here, and then 1st string, open string, fret, and 3rd fret, okay, and come back. Finally, we can use the E minor chord. It's very easy, very simple to play. Okay, and that's the way you're gonna practice this G G major chord with the 6 most used chords on the G major key. So you need to practice right now. You can do the same thing with other scales, okay? In the material of this lesson, you can have the tablatures for the G major scale with the chords of the G major key, and also the D major scale. Those two scales, those two keys are the most important keys in fingerstyle, so it's very important for you to start practicing. You're gonna see a lot of different positions here on your left hand. You're gonna start practicing them. When you start practicing some songs on these keys, it's gonna be very easy for you to get used to the positions and start playing them. Okay, so you need to practice for a few days, but it's a great exercise for you to practice. I play this exercise like every day. Even I'm playing fingerstyle for more than 10 years, and still every day I play some of these exercises just to get going and to keep in shape here on fingerstyle. Okay, so it's a great way for you to practice. Okay, and don't forget to check my other free fingerstyle lessons and my fingerstyle arrangements. I have a lot of different fingerstyle arrangements here on YouTube, more than 300 arrangements, and on Instagram as well. The links are all in the description here below the video. Okay, so I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye.